of it I can see you, and I don't wish upon my worst enemies to be like you. I rest in peace now, cause you don't occupy my mind space. I don't ever miss your kind face or your nice ways. This poem keeps me company, inside of it I can see you, and I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemies to be like you. I rest in peace now, cause you don't occupy my mind space. I don't ever miss your kind face or your nice ways. All these times I thought of you in solitude and wanted to get you out of my mind, but still I feel like I'm a part of you. All you knew were the poems that I wrote in your name, and all you do is smile, and I lose all of my strength again. All for you forever, my sanity has been severed. All my pride is gone inside, I feel nothing but emptiness. How the hell was it that it came to this? Where can I point my finger to place the blame in this? Come on and answer this. Pretty Miss Perfect Pearson punched in my heart. I paid the price, I licked my wounds and tell the story from the start. In one way it's a waste of my time, it takes up too much of my thoughts, it's a waste of my mind. But I guess I'm blind, I saw what I wanted to see and I didn't want to face fast. So now I trace back, rewind and play back. I put my trust and hope until it broke and I couldn't fix it. So just try to ignore the basic facts and dismiss it. After my last visit it couldn't even look straight at me. I guess it's not in our destiny to be together. Whether it was my fault or her fault, it doesn't matter. I know I can't own love, but I'm glad that I had her for the time being. Now I'm seeing the errors in my ways, the reason why she strays, looking for better days in the haze. But that wasn't a reason for her to act like this. She behaved like a masochist that went out of her way to distort facts and twist things around. I was bound by the spell that she created. I was mad at the time, but now I feel that I have elevated. I've left this relationship for the simple fact that it was too complicated and now it's outdated. My thoughts regarding you go from positive to negative and back again. I'm half the man I used to be, or even less if I'm to be realistic. I'm twisted, turning in agony, and it's really sad to see that it all had to end this way. This poem keeps me company, inside of it I can see you, and I don't wish upon my worst enemies to be like you. I rest in peace now, cause you don't occupy my mind space. I don't ever miss your kind face or your nice ways. This poem keeps me company, inside of it I can see you, and I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemies to be like you. I rest in peace now, cause you don't occupy my mind space. I don't ever miss your kind face or your nice ways.
I'll allow you to rhyme sloppy, even allow you to bite and copy, as long as what you writing ain't sounding like a puppet. Feeling like an old nagging man, even though I'm sorta young. But all these dance tracks are like anthrax for my lungs. That's right, last night a DJ saved my life. He spilled his beer in the amplifier and the speakers, they just died. Finally a moment of silence, boy, you can bet it was truly relieving. And I would thank God for that incident if I should ever come to believe in them. And people then just didn't know what they were dealing with. Are you feeling it? The lights went on, the night was gone. They told me to leave the mic alone, but I kept on singing when there was just actually no time for song. Sorry, I'm a young poet and I know I done wrong, but please beat the drums slowly, makes me feel less lonely. Play the Dead March for everyone who thinks he knows me. Forget the Green Valley, take me to a dark alleyway. I'm a young poet and I'm dying today.
I'm terrified of the interrogations, of the insinuations that I might be a hazard for any future generations. I plan relentlessly and I'm pretty sure that it's meant to be. It takes us so much of my time, I haven't even paid my rent this week. Thankfully I was blessed with the sharp mind and the soul on my chest. The struggle continues without any pause or stops, breaks or rest. I'm best at what I do and I'm glad that I have a dream to pursue, while others spend their whole life walking around without a clue. So what's the point of knowledge? What's the reason to strive for wisdom? For one that makes you more powerful and forces people to listen. I follow my visions and make my decisions according to what I think is right. I conquer the visions and perfect position and disappear into the night. I've been tempted by other things people attempted, but mostly I've been satisfied with just slept and dreamt it. I can fantasize and still realize the truth about things that don't have to try to be able to present some proof. Proof there goes another life, terminated for good. Whoops, there goes another life, you couldn't make it but you should. Realize reality and make up a face to clarity. It's sad to see you digging a grave and making yourself a spiritual casualty. Or physically, actually, officially the reason has to be lack of interest, cause we're raised like this as infants. For instance, we've forsaken our ethics and morals, and look at what we look for when we're looking for role models. Hon smekte min hand. Med små rörelser lät hon sina fingertoppar gå från min handled till tummen och snuddade vid fingertoppen och sen sakta ner mot handflatan. Hon tecknade cirklar i min hand. Hon skrev långa kärleksbrev på min varma hud. Hon smekte min hand. Med små sensuella och mjuka rörelser lät hon sina fingrar mötas från mitten av min hand och sedan glida ut, upp och åt sidorna. Hennes tumme drogs längs min. Hennes pekfinger drogs längs mitt. Våra långfingrar mötte varandra. Ring och lillfingret möttes med små, mjuka, lena och sensuella rörelser. Hon smekte min hand. Våra hjärtan möttes när fingrarna gled i sidled och flätade samman till en enhet och värmen mellan våra händer gick som varma vindar genom mig. Hon smekte min hand. Hon smekte min själ. Det var som att få ett barn. Ett liv som plötsligt uppenbarat sig framför mig. Gestaltat genom den vackraste skapelsen jag aldrig tidigare kunnat föreställa mig. Som om det vore det mest självklara i hela världen och visat på toppen av den. Utsikten gav en inblick i våra själar och allt vi hade genomlidit. Som om allt tidigare i livet, allting var en förberedelse inför den här dagen. Jag kunde inte annat än att tro att det var därför vi kände oss så tillfreds med hela den här situationen. Jag låg på rygg, på toppen av världen och betraktade de flyktiga molnen. Jag slutade andas. Precis som den här gången då jag skildes från min själ och min själ inte ville återvända till kroppen. Den gången fick jag panik för jag trodde livet hade lämnat mig. Men den här gången log jag när själen lämnade min kropp för jag visste att den bara just då inte riktigt fick plats. Den ville rusa ur min kropp och göra frivolter och kullerbyttor och snöänglar och rulla i gräset och jag bara log. Min själ återvände den kvällen och jag satte mig upp för att se på henne. Hon låg med ryggen vänd mot mig och sov men jag fick en skymt av en ängels ansikte när jag satte mig upp. Min själ kom rusande och dök in i mig och jag föll bakåt och bara låg där. Jag fnissade för mig själv med henne vid min sida. I min säng. I min själ. I mitt hjärta. Och jag kunde bara le. Hon vaknade. Tanken var för stor och jag kunde inte sätta ord till den. Känslan var för mäktig och jag ville inte ifrågasätta den. Jag ville bara bli uppfylld och upprymd av allt som hon innebar. Allt hon var och stod för. Jag ville för en gångs skull bara finnas. Inte göra, inte tänka, inte säga, inte någonting utan bara finnas. Jag visste att jag älskade henne men vem vågar säga det till en främmande människa? Jag älskar dig. Vem vågar säga det? Vem vågar ens tänka det? Vem vågar kasta sig ner för en så brant backe och helt blint tro att veta att det är säkert? Jag vågade inte säga det men jag tillät mig själv att tänka det. Och när hon stod där framför mig och skulle lämna mig för första gången efter det där dygnet så ville jag bara älska henne. Jag ville att hon skulle veta det. Jag ville att hon skulle känna det och bära det med sig hela vägen hem och vaggas till sömn den kvällen med vetskapen att min kärlek skulle dra sina lena fingrar längs hennes änglalika ansikte och omfamna henne som den natten vi delade. Allt gick så snabbt och allt vi delade kanske kan berättas från början till slut i ett enda andetag. Men jag vill inte släppa andan. För jag vill inte att det ska ta slut. Men det gjorde det. älskar dig inte. Jag älskar dig, jag 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 älskar dig inte. Jag älskar dig, men jag älskar dig inte. Alltså, det är inte så att jag inte älskar dig, men jag älskar dig inte. Men det är inte sagt att jag inte älskar dig, för det gör jag verkligen, jag lovar. Men jag älskar dig bara inte. Kan du förstå skillnaden jag pratar om när jag säger att jag älskar dig men älskar dig inte? Alltså jag kan förstå att det kan vara svårt att förstå att jag älskar dig när jag hela tiden upprepar samma ord och säger jag älskar dig inte. Det finns en energi som sammanbinder oss alla eller driver oss isär. Varje människa bär en karaktär. Varje människa bär en börda och en gåva. Jag lovar sova bredvid dig i natt, men jag älskar dig inte. Så vacker du är när du sover, men jag älskar dig inte. Jag kan vakna bredvid dig 1000 gånger om, men jag älskar dig inte. Jag kan vaka bredvid dig genom 1000 salonger, men jag älskar dig inte. För jag älskar dig. Alltså, inte den du är, den du var eller kan bli, utan den du alltid har varit. Den energin som alltid har farit genom kosmos och rymden. Den energin som alltid farit genom oss, livet och synden. Så att säga att jag älskar dig som person vore en lögn, en dröm. En fantasi skapad ur desperation och känslan av ensamhet från min senaste separation, som lämnade mig suktan efter allt det där jag aldrig kunde få. Så, jag älskar dig inte. Jag bara älskar dig. Energin som du utstrålar genom dina ögon, dina åsikter som rymmer från din själ når mina öron. Det är den kontakten som man aldrig annars hör om, för det handlar alltid bara om kuk och fitta. Så jag älskar dig inte, men det var kul att hitta en så vacker energi i form av en så söt flicka. Jag älskar dig och det kommer jag alltid att göra, men jag älskar dig inte. För jag älskar dig, men jag älskar dig inte. Jag älskar dig, men jag älskar dig inte. Jag älskar dig, jag älskar dig inte. Jag älskar dig, men 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 jag älskar dig inte. Jag älskar dig. Reality. This is the price I have to pay for my sanity. This is my clarity, and if I explain it, perhaps you see how I keep my soul from being another casualty. This is my truth. This is my reality. This is the price I have to pay for my sanity. This is my clarity, and if I explain it, perhaps you see how I keep my soul from being another casualty. You fabricate fictive stories to fuck with me, then flee from me when I confront you with facts from within me. See, I was free for falling to this fiction head first. Now you cause it negative influence, make my hate burst. I fled thirst and quench my desire for knowledge, trying desperately to clear my head from your garbage. I don't need college on paper, so understand what life's about. Y'all in the desert and having a mental drought. Mass production of shitty minds with shitty qualities. If I recite the shit I hate, you feel all of the above. One love? Fuck that. You need to love yourself enough to stop making an ass of yourself. So what's the point? You wanna sell records, man? I don't give a fuck. Your shit's so whack, you would've burned it on a CD art for a buck. You're stuck in circles, chasing your own ass. Dumb enough to forget your past, be able to understand the future. Time repeats itself twice and comes back again. That's why I had to kick your ass twice to make you understand that when the genius gets framed, stupid remains. Stupid says move and the dumb starts to vibrate. My life is about breaking free from that mind state. People often mistake my quest and say I wanna fight haters like a blind date. Never know what's around the corner, and you get burned like when it gets so hot in the sauna. Now you feel split between conscience and desire. They both want the part of you, you feel like a crossfire. I'm lost, tired, sick of all the shit going on beside me. I'm busy trying to understand what's going on inside me. They're like demons, ripping my soul apart in pieces, leaving flesh wounds. And my mind split between two two different theses. Sometimes I sit and wonder what a real thief is. A starving purse snatcher or a soul snatcher like Jesus? There are many ways to look at this. I got thoughts that go by unnoticed because you don't know what the code is. I'm a realist, down to the bone, and I pass it over the microphone to strike you with it so fucking hard it cracks your dome. My reality might not be the same as yours, but I prefer to live like this and I'll never change my course. The cause is elevation, a mental preparation, careful strategies to welcome physical mutation. Life has fucked me over twice in 26 years. I'm not gonna limit myself because of anyone's fears. The fact remains true to me, you're nothing but an animal, uncivilized and filthy, and you're mentally a cannibal. There's no doubt in my mind, you step over another person, never giving a fuck about nothing, just smiling and cursing. That's why I dropped this verse in, trying to flip the spell before humanity passes the limit and starts bursting. This is my truth. I hate my life, what it is and has become. For some it might be pleasurable, for me it just feels dumb. I hate my life, what it is and has become. For some it might be pleasurable, for me it just feels dumb. I hate my life, what it is and has become. For some it might be pleasurable, for me it just feels dumb. Because you work and study day and night to match the sum of your bills. Imagine just let it go and think about how that feels. Cause life is like a box of pills, it's mind numbing. I don't know where I'm going and even less where I come from. Something has to change and rearrange my perception, erasing questions from confusions and misconceptions. Some have questions and live floating in a vacuum space. I take 2 steps forward and we run into a backwards phase. I feel like a sucking black hole causing cracks in space. I view life in angles much like phones with cracked displays. They work just great, but it just doesn't look nice. I despise the lies which force me into this disguise, and now I hide this guy and multiply myself into an army. It consists of guys who are me, but not the complete package. It consists of guys who are me, but not the complete package. The concentrated formula hidden with codes and you can't crack it. I strain my brain while you remain the same. I refrain from fame and place the blame on the follow and target and aim. Because fame ain't fame if fame is gained by actions without shame. Fame ain't fame if fame is gained by actions without shame. Fame ain't fame if fame is gained by actions without shame. Still we play these war games in which many have been slain, and now I sustain and let my words echo out. And if you think these are just words that rhyme, you haven't understood what life is about. Cause this is my life, and it just makes me feel dumb. I hate my life, what it is and has become. For some it might be pleasurable, for me it just feels dumb. I hate my life, what it is and has become. For some it might be pleasurable, for me it just feels dumb. I hate my life, what it is and has become. For some it might be pleasurable, for me it just feels dumb. I hate my life, what it is and has become. For some it might be pleasurable, but I just feel dumb. Allt för många gånger har jag suttit som nu och försökt teckna ditt ansikte med ord. Men penslarna är för tjocka och klumpiga. Ditt ansikte innefattar en detaljrikedom som skulle ta en evighet att återskapa. Ändå vill jag inget heller än att försöka. Du vet, skissa ord, teckna, misslyckas, kasta om och börja om från början. Varje skiss har varit en säker miss. Det är förvisso trist, men det är något visst som jag inte kan återskapa. Språket blir överflödigt. Ord blir otillräckliga. Ord förlorar sin mening och sitt syfte. Jag måste hitta på nya ord. Ett nytt språk. För dina läppar är mer än fylliga. Mer inbjudande än solsmekta och mörkröda bär som får tungan att vrida sig i en knut av syrlig sötma. Dina ögon är mer än livfulla, mer än förtrollande. De innehar mer djup än min själ någonsin kan nå eller sträckas. Ditt leende är mer än vackert, mer än en kittlande känsla i magen, mer än mättande. och varmare än solen när man en vårmorgon står i kylan. Man blundar och känner hur värmen från solen fortplantar sig genom ögonlocken, och från ansiktet tränger sig värmen sen ända in i själens frusna näste. Dina rörelser är mer än graciösa, mer fängslande än drama och mer sensuella än förspel och mer erotiska än vad min primitiva reptilhjärna kan bearbeta. Ditt sällskap, dina åsikter och dina tankar är mer än tillfredsställande, mer än respektingivande och mer än fängslande. Din närvaro och blotta tanken av att vistas i din närhet gör mig mer än fnittrig och nervös, mer än tacksam över din existens. Du gör mig mer än lycklig, mer än lyrisk. Du är mer än poesi, mer än den här dikten, mer än språk, skrift, tal och uttryck. Språk är otillräckligt. Ord är överflödiga. För hur man än gör, säger, skriver, böjer orden och tänker, så är du alltid mer. This is a love-hate relationship, a fusion of many forces, with no laws or clauses or costs of events, no pauses. Contrast from black to white, a spectrum of emotions, sending me from wrong to right. I feel like I'm out in the oceans. This is a love-hate relationship, a fusion of many forces, with no laws or clauses or costs of events, no pauses. Contrast from black to white, a spectrum of emotions, sending me from wrong to right. I feel like I'm out in the ocean. In the beginning it wasn't a big deal, I was just curious about it, but the desire escalated to the point where I couldn't live without it. First things first, I wanna tell you how it caught me, that explain the pain it caused me, the spiritual freedom it brought me. I was lured by mumbling bystanders, forcing struggle upon me, slowly but surely turning me into a zombie. At first I didn't realize the full potential of the stimulant. I thought it was so smart, but obviously I was just ignorant. The rush felt so powerful and intense I couldn't resist it. The drug made me want to breathe again, live life and uplift it. And no matter how much I wanted to resist it, it still insisted. Now I was fully convinced with the belief hard to match, and it became a lot harder to get this cause I needed cash. I kept the secret stash if I ever needed it badly, but even that had a limit. So as we passed to the second verse, sadly I'll tell you about the rage I was struck with. This is a love-hate relationship, a fusion of many forces, with no laws or clauses or costs of events, no pauses. Contrast from black to white, a spectrum of emotions, sending me from wrong to right. I feel like I'm out in the oceans. This is a love-hate relationship, a fusion of many forces, with no laws or clauses or costs of events, no pauses. Contrast from black to white, a spectrum of emotions, sending me from wrong to right. I feel like I'm out in the oceans. Every time I moved it was a confirmation that my mind and body would start from this drug, and I was slowly deteriorating, and soon everything around me became real irritating. Everything in my life became a constant wailing. I was the past, maybe when it crashed, maybe when it smashed, everything in sight. Sometimes I just mumble and recite and wish that I could rewrite the past along with all ignorance. I wish I could fast forward to a more pleasant experience. This addiction had become a battle between logic and nonsense, a classical fight, which means both parties have to make offerings. The offsprings of all this was just more anger and bitterness. Sometimes it even happens that I forget how long I've been in this. Sometimes I wish I could blast from this earth and pass this curse. A lot of people are suffering from this, I ain't last at first. It's an individual struggle, each and everyone hustles. It makes you want to rip yourself in and out and chew your muscles. I need to gain strength to be able to get myself out of this. I really want to, but those nice moments feel like a flower's kiss. I stay focused so I can catch and devour this. I empower this, you rugged it raw fundamental instinct. So as time went by, I became strong and confident, just by using common sense and a shrink as a compliment. I often went outside and spent a lot of my time contemplating and confiscating all the parts of myself that I lost, thinking that the drug gave me great pleasure. But at what cost? At what degree of self-pity was I when I hit the bottom? Many of these thoughts went through my mind, and as I got them, I suddenly realized that I was now free from the chains. Life had started over, now I was through with playing games. I had cleared all the lanes and broken free from all the frames. But it didn't take long until I met a friend from back in the days who was so lost he didn't even keep track of the days. I couldn't help being word and ask what he had been up to. He just looked at me and said, "How could you give it up, dude?" I noticed he was looking weird and he had one hand in his pocket, the other one holding a cord and stretching for a socket. He gave me one of the 2 units to put in my ear, and I couldn't help it, even though I was full of remorse and fear. A tear ran down my cheek, and now I was in heaven again as I took another dose of that drug we call music. Music, 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 music and poetry. Music and poetry. Music and poetry. Music and poetry. I wanna hate you so badly, or at least try to stop thinking about you. I'm sick of imagining you picture perfect, simply perfect in every aspect of what defines my liking and tastes. I wish you hadn't told me about those stars beneath your eyes. I wish you hadn't caressed my head when I was feeling down. I wish you hadn't done any of those small things you didn't even notice that you did. Things you couldn't recall even if I asked you to. I wish for peace of mind, but my needs are blind, and as I see time pass, I want to be as kind to myself as just to say, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care! My words freeze when spoken, not reaching your ears. Words broken, locked in a box. I keep it with me as a token of my love. You know, the unheard, the unspoken words which form sentences of eternal promises. But they were frost-bit, frost-hit hard, ice cold. Vowels and consonants filled with confidence drop heavy on the floor. Just inches away from you, drop miles away from you for all you care. I lit fires under those words, letters and sentences, hoping the smoke signals will get your attention. But strong and cold winds blew the words into nothingness like a smudged painting. And so I picked up those words, sharpened them and threw them at you, screaming, "Please look at me when I'm talking to you!" Those words, sweet and honest, now cold, frozen in sharp weapons, cut your skin like razors through silk. You bleed not, but you look strangely at me, wondering what might have caused such a reaction. I looked down and kneeled and gathered the pieces of what was left of those words. You looked puzzled when I stood on the tip of my toes, trying to reach your hand to give you this box of words and promises. Once divine, they almost reached you, but you have been proven untouchable apparently. And so now I walk away without a single word to show for it. And there you stand, just like when I saw you for the first time. I give up now, because you are untouchable. You are unreachable.